The following is a fictitious episode in the lives of two make-believe hobos. The characters and events you hear are not real. Don't freak out.
I don't have a home. I don't have anything. I just live outside in a trash can. Everyone looks at me funny. I don't like it. Why are you beatboxing over me? Do you have any change? Why are you just standing here? I don't like the guy with the metal arms. He's fucking terrifying. Stop, please. Stop.
Alright, I'm done.
Please.
I feel warmed up now. That's fine.
Stop.
Alright, Cheryl.
Let's just keep walking, this fucking weirdo.
Jesus, man. No, we don't have any change. You see us
Just
here.
Give me something. Just stop beatboxing on me, man.
Alright, I'm done. That's our warm-up thing. You saw that we set up the equipment. This is what we do here. You know this. You've seen us here at least a couple of times.
I'm leaving.
Alright, Cheryl. Just go cry. Yeah, go cry in the back. And you know what else?
Keep beatboxing at me.
Hey, Eric, ignore Cheryl. We're recording. We're just back here recording. We set up this fort between the dumpsters because we couldn't find a building to record in this week. So we're just...
Stop! The metal-armed one's looking at me funny.
Yeah, Greg, why don't you shoot something at his feet there? See if you can scare off Cheryl a little bit.
I'm good.
Yeah, Cheryl, he's going to shoot you if you don't stop making that noise.
Nah, I won't.
Don't say that, Greg.
What?
The threat. Where are the threats, man? Where's your bad cop? What is this?
I don't know. I'm just feeling a little apathetic right now. Things are really chill for me right now. And it's also the huge amount of painkillers I've been taking.
Yeah, it's the painkillers and the excess amount of Raisinets that you consumed while you were downing that bottle of pills. I told you, Freak said not to take all those at once.
Well, I finished the arm, so I need reduction of the pain.
Oh, jeez. What,
Yeah.
Did you hear that from Drippy? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just feel it all over my arm.
Okay. Well, all right, so...
I mean, the socket isn't exactly...
Yeah, it's
feeling
not
great.
Well, it's
pretty
not
swollen right now.
It's not lined up.
It's a new implant, man. But check it out.
You know what? Here, as a matter of fact, why don't I help you?
No.
Why don't I go ahead and just...
Nope.
It looks dislocated. Looks dislocated.
No.
Here we
Stop
go.
it.
Here we go.
Stop.
Hey! That's got to feel better, right?
Oh, the adrenaline.
Yeah, it's all light. Look at how it's lighting up now. That's got to feel better.
Oh, wow. Woo!
See, this is because Drippy deals with machines and not people. I told you his biosensitivity
Well,
is
it didn't help
minimal.
that I didn't like him touching me, so I threatened to bite him.
Yeah.
And I did bite him.
It's understandable.
Probably like 6 times.
He does have that nasal drip. His mouth is always wet with his own snot. It's disgusting.
Does he hang out with that fucking weirdo at the docks? Whatever that snotty pirate guy's
Charlie,
name is?
Chuck. Yeah, absolutely he does. I've seen them together. Chuck actually pays Drippy for some technology that he uses to decrease the time between shipments on his boats.
Wow.
It's fucked up. Yeah, I was talking to Chuck about that, unfortunately, because he provided me with some Reuben sandwiches earlier this week. And
you didn't supply one for moi?
You have told me repeatedly how much you dislike dealing with Chucky. I had to spend 3 hours with him on Wednesday night in order to get that
I could have
sandwich.
kept my peace. I could have kept it silent if there was food involved.
For Reuben, really? Okay, well, here's the thing. Listen,
Dude, I'll suck a dick for a Reuben. I don't give a shit.
Fair enough. Excuse me. Hey, by the way, sorry about that. Hi, how are you? I'm Don.
I'm Greg.
We are the Boxcar Buddies. Welcome back. If you've joined us before, if it's your first time, welcome on board. We are called the Boxcar Buddies because we normally shack up in a boxcar together in order to record this podcast, which we put out week to week. We don't have a studio or a home because we're homeless in Chicago.
Yeah, but since the weather's gotten so warm, we've decided to hang out in an alley.
As it is, yes. There was, as you may or may not have heard, there was a bit of the popular word was polar vortex, which moved through the Midwest and centered around Chicago for a bit. I think most of us were certainly affected by that. That was kind of rough to get through for a while, especially kind of without the home. We all had to band together and burrow. Quite literally, a lot of us slept in a puppy pile. I know that's why Greg and I got a lot closer to some of our homeless brethren than we had before. But
Yeah, that's true.
But we made it through, and now, after that was about 4 days ago from when we're recording this. Now, this is Sunday, and it's about 45, 50 degrees outside in Chicago, and it feels like
practically like it's summer.
Yeah, it feels like a summer day, because that's the perspective. When you go down to like 50 below with wind chill, and then you get back up to 40, your body feels it like that's like 60 degrees or 65. So it's really nice.
Yeah, plus once you're in one of the underground like cities that we've got going on around the city, like it gets real warm down there.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, I say city, it's more like a bazaar.
Like a troll market, you might call it that. A lot of creatures down there. A lot of lost things. You know, you ever wonder where that other sock gets to every time you run it through the washer and dryer?
Well, it's ours now.
Yep. Gets into the troll market every time. There's a tent where lost things go. That's where it is, if you ever look for it.
But, yeah, we hung out down there. We got to peruse some new local delicacies.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy going to Smelly Pete's.
Smelly Pete's.
Yeah.
He has the best crunchy crickets I have ever tasted.
It's true.
The way he seasons those, I mean... One day they're going to be serving that at a stadium, and people are going to be like, "Oh my God, have you ever heard of these? You
Oh my
won't
God,
believe
these crunchy crickets.
You just
man.
won't believe the taste, the flavor profile. $10 is just—it's so cheap. I can't believe that." Well,
It's
guess what?
crunchy, but at the same time, it's also soft,
Right?
and gooey.
Yeah. Well, guess what, idiot? Pete gave those to us right now in exchange for 16 bottle caps. So how do you like that? But anyway, what Greg and I do is we set up our equipment and we talk about different content that the two of us have absorbed in whatever form that might be.
Yeah, whether it's through a store window,
Store windows,
at a stadium late at night,
word of mouth,
in the back of a van.
in jail.
Either of those things.
Anything.
That's usually how we bite down and eat up some tasty treats.
Both of us are finders and connoisseurs of fiction. We appreciate a good story, whether it's for a lesson, whether it's for just perspective, or simply entertainment, escapism. It's nice. But we like movies, we like music, we like video games, we like books, TV shows.
We like all the typical nerd shit.
Yep, all that stuff. Comic books.
Yep,
even.
appealing to the youngsters. Mm-hmm. Hey,
Come on in
kids,
here.
Big Chungus here.
Come on back here, kids. You like painkillers, don't ya?
Those are the memes, right?
Maymays?
Mummies?
Yeah, I know those.
The mommies?
Yeah, yeah, I had one of those one time.
I've had a couple mommies.
But yeah, anyway, though, Greg and I think Greg, as he just mentioned, Greg, if this is your first time, Greg has 2 metal arms. Formerly 1 arm before this weekend. He's been working.
Now
for the
I have
past,
ghosts.
Yeah, and he's a full-on cyborg now. He is. What's the word? Improved. You've assimilated technology.
I am Greg. Not 2.0 anymore. 3.0.
This is 3.0.
This is
You
3.0.
could say 2.5 if you wanted, but I think 3.0 sounds better.
This is a whole arm, baby.
It is. It deserves
It
its
has
one.
a lot of things in it.
It does.
Yeah.
I notice all the things that you don't have on your other hand, which were your seasoning, the cell phone screen in the palm. Mm-hmm. You had the knife and the gun, right?
Uh-huh.
And what's that 5th finger? I always forget. Is that a butt plug?
It's whatever it needs to be
butt
at the
plug?
moment.
Butt plug, typically?
Sometimes.
That's what you normally use it as, right?
No, never.
It's like I can see poop on it right now.
It's mud.
It's poop.
Mud.
Don't wipe
Mud.
it on the. All right, that's
Mud.
all right.
See, look, it's smelly mud.
Yeah, it's a little strange. But what about the other hand? What'd you put on there?
Oh, well, everything. So this one has an HD TV screen in it.
Look at that.
It's got built-in Wi-Fi.
high definition. Ooh, it's a mobile hotspot. Ooh, it is hot.
It certainly is. It gets very hot.
Love
So
that.
the
Love
the ring finger is a cooler.
Oh, nice.
So I could just pop this out and just go.
wow.
Put it back in.
The smoke. A little bit of smoke from that because of the.
It
heat.
uses a lot of energy and a lot of blood.
Ooh.
Blah.
So a party trick you only do once. Looks like, right? In a while?
Just when I'm feeling a little spicy.
Sure. Okay. I see a wine bottle opener. Is that right? Well, a corkscrew.
This one is actually a Swiss Army knife. So yes. So it's kind of doing all. It's got nail clipper and everything in there.
Yeah. Little nail file.
I have a little nail file. I mean, I still have my toes.
Sure.
Haven't lost those yet.
Right. You got them. Walking around with them. Do you feel more attached now to your robotic arms than your human legs? Do you want robot legs? Is that something that you feel like a tattoo? Like once you get a first tattoo, it's supposed to like give you that itch. Do you want to improve your legs to robotic legs?
I do kind of want to just make my whole body robotic, except the brain.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been trying to find a way to live forever, and put your brain into a robot.
That'd be a way to do it
forever.
Yeah. All you
Plus,
need
I'd still be human, so...
Yeah, a nice little cyborg. Yeah, absolutely. All you need is an oil change, and you just keep on going. I love it. I love it. Well, yeah, so...
just have to give myself periodic updates.
Right. Some systems, software, and hardware, I'm sure, but all that's
new wiring.
All that's way more doable than new organs and stopping your cells from dying off. Like, you can't...
I think I could live without eating. That'd be great.
But the taste. Wouldn't you miss the taste of food?
Yeah.
Think about the Pete's Crunchy Crickets we were just talking about. Wouldn't you miss those?
Maybe sometimes.
I think I would miss tasting
I think I would
stuff.
much rather be able to stay up 24/7, do whatever I want. Never have to worry about cold, never have to worry about eating, never have to
Sleeping.
worry about pooping.
Yeah, no sleeping. That would be really nice.
Oh man,
How
the
much
ability to
time?
not sleep would be...
How much time? How much more productive are you? Just from simple time alone, from your ability to function.
Plus, I would lose all fear of anything.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, I
absolutely.
still have fears. Everyone thinks that I'm some kind of fearless animal. I'm not. I'm human.
It's true.
I
Some
am
of those,
what I eat.
Yeah, some of those fears include sharks, snakes.
Sharks are big.
Snakes
are huge.
Woodpeckers. I remember that one. From
Why'd
a
you
long
have to
time
give
ago.
that out?
Well, because it's unique. That's why. It's the sound.
I don't like their sound.
It's that sound, isn't it? Yeah.
Every single time I hear it, I'm just like, no, my brain.
Yeah. All I ever have to do if I want Greg to comply is just show him that picture of like a tiny weasel riding a woodpecker, and he just acquiesces. It's great. But
Now
yeah.
everyone's going to send us pictures of woodpeckers, you dickhead.
Please do. Oh,
No!
Send your pics of woodpeckers to gregslist@gmail.com.
You son of a bitch.
That's 3 G's. gregslist@gmail.com. But yeah, and that's what Greg and I like to do. So we're not in a boxcar today. We are in this alleyway behind a convenience store that our buddy owns. Thankfully, he knows us, and Cheryl is not going to give us any more problems. Are you?
Stop looking at me funny.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. Hey, there's actually some drugs in the dumpster on the block over.
I don't want drugs. I want freedom from your stares.
All right, well, you can get that over there, too. All right, you can get that over there, too. Yeah, okay. All right, Cheryl, that's just great. Anyway, but yeah, so normally Greg and I will get together and we record our thoughts about content that we have recently consumed. And Greg, I will tell you that recently I consumed a little movie by wandering into the Davis Theater, as we both know. We've talked about it many times. I hid inside the mural. I was body painted by Freak, actually. Freak has this.
Freak's helping you out now.
Well, yeah.
Look at him opening up.
Well, I have, thankfully, between my relationship with Scummy, Chucky, and Raj, I've been able to procure some things which are of interest to Freak. And that has given me some bargaining power. So this past week, I gave him, some stuff, some metallic items that Raj acquired from a different part of space, and Freak painted my body so that I could hide inside the big wall mural inside the Davis Theater. And I waited until it was
I'm
closed.
surprised that he even joined you on some kind of escapade. That dude is pretty standoffish every single time I bring up a wacky shenanigan with him.
I did invite him along. He declined to go with me. He just sort of painted me and was like, "Yeah, good luck. You're gonna be great."
Don't get caught by the searchlights, Donald.
Right. And he gave me
If
several
you get
warnings.
arrested, the show will be ruined. You don't know me. You don't know
And I
what the
didn't.
show will be like with just Greg.
Right. And these warnings, I took those to
And
heart.
that's
I
the kind of
took those
shit
to
he
heart.
always says to me. And he's like, he doesn't
Undercuts.
want me to do the show on my own. I'm like, shut up, freak. You're
Right.
not my dad.
Right. He's more of a clip your wings than spread them kind of a parental figure, definitely. But he painted my body, and he gave me his blessing to just do it on my own. So I stayed in the Davis until it was all closed down, and then when everybody had left and the doors were locked and the lights were off, I flipped them on, poured myself a little drink, made myself a Manhattan, and I walked into a studio, flipped on the projector, and what should be playing in Studio 2?
A movie.
That's right. There was a movie on the projector reel. Mary Poppins Returns.
She's back?
She's back.
In Pog form?
Not in Pog form, human form. Not Julie
Gross.
Not Julie Andrews, though. It was played by...
Oh, they didn't dig up the corpse of Julie Andrews to play Mary Poppins?
I think she's still alive, to be fair. I think she's still alive. And don't say that's debatable, because...
It's debatable.
Damn it, she's alive. I bet she could still sing, too. But I'll tell you what, though. Emily Blunt did a lovely job as Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins Returns, it's a kid's movie, right? So I am not the target audience
Yeah,
of
in fact,
this...
you probably look like a fucking creeper with your Coke bottle glasses and your shiny chest standing in the back.
And my Manhattan standing up in the middle of an empty theater.
Not even taking
watching
a seat,
Mary
you're
Poppins
fucking
Returns.
standing.
It was my prerogative. It was an empty theater, and I was able to just do anything I wanted to.
Did like families start walking into the door and then immediately see you?
No,
and as soon as you turn around going, hey, what's going on there?
Yeah, I turned around and I started singing some of the songs that were on screen, and I was just like, ha da da da.
And like, well, it's all right, kids, it's time to see Spider-Man again.
No, thankfully this was after hours. There was nobody in the theater. I was in there by myself, so I had all the theater and I could make all the noise I wanted. I could react as much as I wanted to. That was the direction I went in with Mary Poppins Returns. It is the story. If you're not familiar with Mary Poppins,
Mary Poppins
my God,
it's about a magic lady
who can flies on an umbrella,
a cartoon world and ruin your life by giving you PTSD.
Yes,
that you walk to a cartoon land.
Yeah, and setting your expectations.
Say the same thing about the bed knob and broomsticks kids.
Yes,
those kids are fucked
for the rest of their life. Your expectations are way too high.
Them. And she's just going to keep taking them to a storybook world? This sucks.
And if she loses her powers, then she's got to start force-feeding them LSD to try and make them think that it's all still going on.
Yeah,
she's got to get that family life.
She's got to get that John Cleese wannabe to, turn into a rabbit again.
I say.
Yeah. Oh, dear, these children.
Monty Python. But, so I'm watching Mary Poppins Returns. It wasn't Julie Andrews, as I mentioned. Emily Blunt plays the lead. This is the first sequel to the original Mary Poppins movie, and
it's not the last.
No, it'll definitely not be the last. Greg, if I can make quick use of I'm going to use your HD screen actually.
Yeah, go for it. Give it a test drive.
Ooh, the internet is so fast. This is lovely.
Mm-hmm. It connects real good.
Yeah, this is nice. Okay,
I got a nice CPU processor in there.
All right, dude. I'm. Oh, and you've got Skyrim on here. This is incredible. Okay.
I've got everything on here. I basically installed Steam into my ARM.
This is wonderful. Okay, so I'm on IMDb now. The original Julie Andrews Mary Poppins came out in 1964, right?
Yeah.
Also starred Dick Van Dyke. We all. If you haven't seen that,
Dick Van Dyke, the man who refuses to die.
By the way,
is he in this?
Yes, he's in this. By the way,
is he still a crusty old chimney sweep?
I will.
Does he pop out of a chimney just fucking coughing and gagging because he's in his fucking 70s? Just
step in time. Here we go. It's step in time.
Please tell me he didn't sing.
He did not do that. He didn't.
That makes me sad.
He does. All right, just I'll get to it. But the point is, so that was 64. This is the first sequel to Mary Poppins. As Greg said, it won't be the last. Emily Blunt does a fantastic job. She really, it's singing, her voice, her mannerisms. She really picked up the character, I think, of Mary Poppins quite well. Although, I will say, and also for the record, before I get too deep into this, I wanted to say there are going to be some spoilers with this review right now. So, if you want to watch Mary Poppins, if you care about the plot or anything like that, just skip ahead for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, or just
keep listening, later. You fucking losers,
right,
because most of the people that listen to us are probably in their 30s and not going out of their way to watch fucking Mary Poppins.
Right,
you weirdo.
Don't do what I did. If you're not with a kid, don't go watch Mary Poppins Returns. It's just not going to look good for you. But anyway, So I did watch it. Just wanted to give you that heads up. There are going to be some spoilers. So let's into the plot. We come into the story, and we go into London, and we go to the same house that the Banks family was in the original 64 movie, except that now this is modern day, and the house is owned by Michael Banks, who was the younger son in the original, and he has 3 children, but his wife has recently passed away. So Michael Banks lives there. They have a nanny, and they have the 3 kids, and Michael's sister Jane, who obviously was in the old movie too, she's played by Emily Mortimer. She does a fine job as well. very giggly and nervous and can't get her life together and all that.
Is she an adult now or something?
She's an adult now too. So Michael and Jane, originally kids from that movie, they're adults now. They have their own lives. Jane's like this union advocate. She's always organizing rallies, and that's her like job, I guess. Michael works at the bank.
My job is to start protests.
I hate the working people.
All right, that'll be $9.99, please.
You're welcome.
But yeah,
I just saved you a bunch of money, bitches.
Idiot. But so Michael works at the bank, the same bank that was a big factor in the plot of the first movie, right? Money it's just like a working family living in London, and the plot driver in this movie is that they're going to lose their family home. Michael hasn't made any payments. He works at the bank, but like the bank owner is played by Colin Firth, and he's very dubious. You can just tell when they first introduce him. He's this typical put together British self, and then he talks to Michael. He's like, "Don't worry, I'm going to handle this for you. Come back next week, it'll all be good." And then he closes the door, and he's just like, "Fuck that guy. I'm going to steal his house." Like that kind of stuff.
I'm going to steal his house,
right?
Because I'm made of evil.
Yeah. His motivation is just that. He's just a flat evil
cartoony,
character. Cartoony, yes,
bad guy.
That's again. This is a kids' movie. That's where we're at. These characters are
It's a kids' movie. A sequel to a movie from fucking 60 years ago.
Yes, 64. Just think about that. So that's how you move through. You get introduced. Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton fame, the most likable guy out there right now, plays they call them Learys. They're lamplighters on the streets of London. So he's the Dick Van Dyke equivalent of this movie. He's riding his bike and he sings his songs.
Cheeky, happy fucking nobody that makes
Mary Poppins, I'm lighting the lamps. I'm poor, but I love my life. Kind of like us.
Wow, you know what? I swear I was just in the movie right now.
Yeah, we wait for a little happy seahorse to just swim by us in a cartoon underwater world.
I thought an entire ring of hippos wearing tutus was going to come out, and they were going to do a fancy little ballet as you sang.
You just wait, pal.
Just fucking
I got some surprises coming.
You floored me.
Well, anyway, so that's what
are the animated bits 2D or are they 3D? Or any cartoon bits?
No, the cartoon bits they were 3D actually. There was a there are both. It's two. Just settle down. There are 2D parts. Cheryl, shut your mouth.
That movie sounds upsetting.
It can be, especially if you're a kid. So anyway, that's how they're going. Michael he's lost control of his life because his wife has died. The kids are handling everything. That's what you get from the first scene of the movie, is that there's all this craziness happening. The kids have to go pick up groceries because Michael forgot, and then they've also got to pay the bills. The nanny's doing stuff. The bankers come by and inform them that they're losing the house, all that stuff. After Lin-Manuel Miranda's first song and after all that stuff, this is when sort of Mary Poppins kind of comes into the picture. She floats down on her umbrella, the clouds part, and she does a little sing-songy thing, hops down on the street, and just like she did in the first movie, she just walks right up to the house of the Bankses, and she's like, "Hey, I'm here to be your nanny." And, Michael's all like, "Oh, I can't afford a nanny." And then his sister Jane's like, "Oh, well, it's Mary Poppins, who cares?" And he's like, "You're right, who cares?" And then that's the end of it. "Okay, Mary Poppins, you'll stay." And then the first thing...
Oh, God, you're back, Mary Poppins!
Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Right, they both
I've
sing,
been masturbating to you every day since I was 5.
Yeah, there's definitely one of those. There's a little element of that. Michael's like, "Oh, Mary Poppins, you haven't aged a bit." And she turns around, she's like, "Really, Michael? You should never bring up a lady's age." And then you can tell he's just like, "Oh, sorry." And then he masturbates furiously in the corner, basically. He's like, not really, but there's a little bit of element of that with their relationship. Yeah, he was just like, "Oh, Mary Poppins,
fragilistic.
I'm about to Expiala blow this right over the fucking wall." But yeah, anyway, so
it got all over my umbrella.
Sorry, Jane. But it's so there's that. Then the first thing Mary Poppins does as they shake hands and she comes into the fold of working for them is she gives the kids a bath. And this bath time, again, just like in the first movie, the younger kids have to be broken of their real world grown-upness. So Mary Poppins has to show them, "Oh, hey, look at all this magical stuff I can do." And they all go under the bathwater, and there's this big underwater...
That's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to the bathtub. Let me dunk your head into the water.
And then they just go down underneath, and she's just, she's all like, "Oh, here we go." And then she, jumps down there, too. So they do this underwater thing. That's the only one, I think, where it's like Mary Poppins and just the kids. After that, every animated sequence, of which there are probably 3 or 4, every one of them, Lin-Manuel Miranda comes with them. He kind of always like...
Oh, I was just sitting in your windowsill and noticed that you were drowning children.
Right, I saw you dunk their heads in. This looked like fun. I decided to jump in with you. And then, die, the kids get killed. Right.
I just visited this nasty little witch in their magic bed, and I wanted to see what you were doing to children.
Right, suffocation. But yeah, so that's so.
All right, children, we're gonna go into the closet with Uncle Larry.
Turn the lights off. But so Mary Poppins takes them under the water, and then now you're in the musical sequence of the movie. Every couple of minutes as the plot moves forward, it stops so that a song can take place. So you got to know that it's a full-on musical. And the songs are, some of them are whatever, but they're definitely some catchy ones. And I could tell they also tried to incorporate some of what made Hamilton popular. You know how, like, I never saw the show, but I know that there are points of it where Lin-Manuel Miranda, like, raps, sort of speaks real quickly, or, like, fast talks. There are songs in Mary Poppins where they do that exact thing. Ew. She'll basically be singing, and she's like, "Oh, take it away, Lynn." And then he's just like, "Yeah, because I got some dirty feet, and all I do is work on the streets of London, and I light the lamps, and I talk in a made-up language, and everybody, kids. And then back into the chorus of the song.
I don't think anyone can see my face of disgust.
So yeah,
but I think you can hear it.
I hope you can hear that. Yeah. So know that they tried to adapt some of what made Hamilton so good, and you could just tell that.
Yeah, just Disney, corporate Disney, writing rap music.
Huh? Get over here! You're under our umbrella now.
Now listen, is there a sick flow to this?
I need to hear the beat.
Let me hear the beat, motherfucker.
Give me that beat.
This sounds like every other beat that you make.
Cause it's trash! You're fired! And dead! Huh?
Well, let's wrap him up into the carpet there, Donald. I can't understand a fucking word you ever say, Donald.
I hate you both! Crazy.
Are you speaking Korean or something, you disgusting duck? I ordered extra crispy.
But yeah, so the death of Donald. But yeah, so then
Goofy finally got fed up with him,
and then fed because he ate him. He's a dog.
That's a shame. It's a shame that they killed off one of Disney's most popular characters.
He's iconic.
Mary Poppins.
In Mary Poppins, and also talked about in some unknown, obscure podcast as well.
I mean, where else can all 15 of our listeners know how the Donald Duck was killed and eaten by his good friend
Goofy.
His good friend Goofy.
And then kept as a leftover in Mickey and Minnie's fridge.
I needed to feed my kids there, Donald.
That's bullshit. You always say that.
Maxie's gotta eat.
He's grown.
He's growing.
Yeah.
So you just see this big fat blob in the middle of the city.
That's so not cool,
right. Like Katamari. It's like rolling around. So anyway, this is why you come here, right?
The Empire State Building's cutting under my man boob. I'm gonna eat this now.
So this is why you come here, to hear these kind of mishmashes. Anyway, back to Mary Poppins, though. It's yes, the kids will love it. If you've got kids or you know somebody who's got kids, the kids will enjoy it. It's the catchy songs. It's a very easy, digestible plot. You know what I mean? Like, it's got some of that real worldness where, like I said, I mean, even though they're jumping into magical realms and singing, the villain of the movie is a banker, and the problem is that they haven't paid their bills and now they're going to lose their house. It's a very realistic sort of real world consequence, and so it's good in that way. Like, it engages you as an adult because you can feel for the adults in this movie, and you also feel for the kids. But one thing that I want to make the point of is that after watching this, like, I watched the original movie growing up, and some of those songs are still in my head, and I watched this movie, and it didn't strike me in the same way. But again, I was a kid when I watched the old one, and now this is as an adult. But something that I picked up on in this view through, and maybe this is because of Emily Blunt's portrayal of the character versus Julie Andrews or whatever, but Mary Poppins is kind of an asshole. And I say that because
Because she's a grown woman that, forces her way into homes and indoctrinates children.
Well, there's that. She forces her way into homes.
And she constantly fights with bankers.
Yeah, she's always dueling with bankers.
Something that
she
you can
spurs
never
the kids
do
into
in
trouble.
real life.
Right. Don't set these examples for the kids.
I'm not going to walk into a Chase bank and,
sing a song into getting a loan.
Yeah. I need low money so I can eat dinner and probably drink.
Right. With a percentage less than 5.5. Yeah.
Super put the money in the bag, you piece of shit.
Right. As they're holding up the bank, a little happy sing-song. But yeah, so I say Mary Poppins is an asshole, though, because A, those points we just mentioned. B, in this movie, in Mary Poppins Returns, there's a point where one of the children breaks a bowl. It's an ornamental bowl that their mother apparently loved. And so in order to repair it, they have to go inside this bowl, which has an animation, drawn characters on the outside. So they go into the bowl, and there comes a point where they watch this show. Mary Poppins and Lin-Manuel Miranda jump on stage, and they sing a song, of course, and Miranda does his rap, and the kids are in the audience. And basically, the youngest child, Georgie, he gets distracted by something, runs out, the other kids chase him, and now they're kidnapped, or they're chasing, these bad cartoon characters. And I have this thought where I'm Mary Poppins she takes them into these worlds, which you think that she's just a god of, that she's just we're gonna sing songs and there's no stakes.
I'm gonna make this magic world that suits only for 5 minutes for a song.
Right, and there's no stakes. These characters are all happy.
Magically created evil cartoons.
Seemingly. There are evil cartoon characters in here, and they're trying to steal something, real life items from the kids' rooms. They're oh, we're gonna use you to go into the real world.
We're gonna take your toy box.
Yeah. Sell them on the black market. But
your hair clippings will get a good amount in the black market at a very fine price.
But so they do that. So the kids are all of a sudden in danger. They go back into the room and they're fighting. Mary Poppins doesn't say anything. Then she takes them to the bank where they almost lose their dad's job because they run into the office of the boss and call him an evil dude and steal his candies and shit.
You're evil.
Yeah.
We're gonna get all of our money back.
Yeah, and of course he comes.
We're gonna take it back from you.
Right, and he comes downstairs and he's Michael, you should keep your children on a leash. They could have cost you your job.
Fuck you.
Basically, yeah. So
I sang songs with a cartoon bird. You don't know me, bitch.
But yeah, so then they go back home and Michael yells at his kids and he yells at Mary Poppins. She doesn't say a damn word. And the kids, then there's a quick, tiny little sad song and all their relationship gets repaired
Family
after
Guy
that. Yeah. There's it's 3 lines. It's not even a song. It's just a little rhythmic sing-song, and then all their relationship is repaired. But
glad to know that Disney is still telling me how to feel in my movies.
Always. Never stop. We'll never stop. You should feel afraid right now, bitch. But
do you hear that ominous tone underneath all of this?
Feel my glove. Then so that's not even why Mary Poppins. So Mary Poppins does all this stuff. She puts the kids in danger. Meryl Streep has kind of a random cameo. She's Mary Poppins' Russian cousin, and they go to this realm where she gets
is that Sherry Poppins?
I don't know. I don't even know. No. She calls her Manuel Miranda calls her topsy turvy or something. So her name is Sherry Poppins. No. It could be.
Man, this movie. The more you describe this movie, the more I'm man, this sounds like a fan fiction.
It kind of is, and I'll tell you especially why. I just have 2 more points to make. One, for Mary Poppins being an asshole, the climax of the movie, the big moment where everything is kind of at stake and they're trying to do something. They find these shares in the bank they've been looking for, in some drawings or whatever. They have to make it to the bank by midnight to give the shares to Colin Firth in order to get him to agree not to repossess their house. Oh. So they find the shares. Michael and these guys are running it to the bank. I think they're taking a bike, and it's and of course there's a song. So their great idea they're like, oh, we have to stop time. Like, I'll never make it to the bank in time. And they're like, Big Ben is a repeated, like, plot device in this movie. So they keep looking at it.
Like in every other London movie.
Yes, of course. Oh, there's a clock. No one's got a clock, do they?
You know, this clock hasn't been running for, 5 years or something.
Yeah, so the thing is, Michael and Jane are going to the bank with the kids with the share. Mary Poppins and Lynn Miranda are in charge of stopping time for 5 minutes, manipulating Big Ben. So they run to the clock, they sing their song, Miranda gets this whole army of Learys, like the lamplighters, and they help them get to the Big Ben. So then, Mary Poppins is standing on the ground, looking up from under her umbrella, as the Learys are climbing each other like ants, scaling the wall of Big Ben. They go all the way up the top, and she's making remarks like, oh, you'd think they'd never done this before. Like, just clearly needling them in the side, as they're risking their lives climbing this gigantic tower.
Oh dear, I do hope that you don't die.
Right,
But if you do, can I get your house?
I certainly won't
and
care.
your debt.
Right. So she's like needling them. They're risking their lives for this family, and there's no benefit to them. These are Learys. They're fucking lamplighters. They're not going to get anything for this. So they're climbing each other like ants, getting to the top of Big Ben. Then Lin Miranda gets to the top, and he can't reach like the clock handles. He like douses the light, and it's whatever, but he can't reach it. So what does Mary Poppins do? Flies up to the top and magically manipulates it. After 10 minutes of watching these guys risk their lives and scale the Big Ben, she just sighs and flies to the top and snaps her fingers, and it's done. She could have done that the entire time. She could have done that the whole movie. That's the thing about it that bothers me. I'm like, this is an asshole. She's a god who flies down, pokes at kids, sings songs.
Listen, she's punishing the wicked.
she's entertaining herself.
She's flying down. She's flying down on her umbrella of doom, and she's issuing punishment
right
to 2 horrible children that she tried to make better.
Right, and she jokingly says, I'm here to save the bank's children. But no, she got bored up in whatever realm she was in, and now she's going to stir the pot down on Earth.
Oh dear, it looks like we have another check for me to make another movie.
Yes, I guess I'll take it. So that's my 1 point.
Oh, you're so heavy.
Right. So she's an asshole for that. Mary Poppins is an asshole. Then my second and final point is it's fan servicey, as you said, because that's the climax. Then the Big Ben thing is done. They get to the bank. They give Colin Firth the shares, and he goes, no, I'm sorry. Like, obviously, like the villain. He's like, no, I'm not going to accept.
No, I'm not going to do it because I'm evil.
Yes, and he stamps his foot, and he's like, haha, the house is mine. And Michael Banks, having his moment as a character, says, well, go ahead, take the house. I've got everything I need right here. And he circles his family, and it's a wonderful moment.
He absorbs them into his being.
Right. Katamari style. Just rolls over them. And just, it's great. It's a happy round ball family. But then, so they're walking out of the bank, and you could feel it as you're watching this movie. There's a moment they're waiting for, they're building towards something. And so as Michael and his family are walking out of that office, you hear this voice, and it's like an old voice. And they've been
Dick Van Dyke.
Yes, they've been talking about the real owner of the bank, the uncle of Colin Firth, who's been, Colin Firth says, ill. He's been like ill for a while, and he's just recovering.
So what they're trying to say is that Dick Van Dyke's character became the owner of the bank, and then he just went fucking crazy. And now he's coming down going, oh, what's this, old man?
He comes back, and Colin Firth, he catches them in the act. Why a mentally unfit man is at a bank at midnight on a Friday, who knows? But
because
anyway,
he's mentally unfit. He thought it was time to go into work.
Isn't it tea time?
Oh, it's only 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I missed mass.
Oh, it looks like I started the graveyard.
So what happens is Dick Van Dyke crushes Colin Firth, says, it's my bank now, I'm back in charge, this family can, their shares are valid, you can keep the house, all this stuff.
Cute. Hey, Mary Poppins, can you make me young?
Right.
Can you make my brain good?
Of course not! And she flies away because she's a fucking asshole.
Because she's punishing him.
Right. So, but anyway, though, here's my thing, though. This is the most impressive part of this movie. Dick Van Dyke is 93 years old. He's 93. At the end of this movie, the real climax, not Mary Poppins shittily, solving the
flying
problem
away.
with magic. Not that. The real climax was the song and dance done by Dick Van Dyke when he saves the day. He kicks Colin Firth out of the office, sings, and jumps on top of his desk and does a little jig. This 93-year-old man moves better than fucking I could on this desk.
Are you sure that's not CGI?
I'm not sure of that.
Do you think that he's got cyborg legs?
I'm not sure of anything. It's very possible. But I was just overall impressed with his acuity. As you said, he refuses to die. It's ridiculous. He's what we should all strive to be. He seemingly laughs at age. At the concept of aging, he keeps it at arm's length and just flicks at its ear and laughs at that shit.
Gonna get comfortable in his trash bag.
Speaking of Angela Lansbury, though, the Bedknobs and Broomsticks, she also makes a cameo as the balloon lady at the tail end of the movie after Dick Van Dyke has saved the day and sung and danced. Everybody in the whole movie meets at this park, and Angela Lansbury is just handing out balloons, and everyone grabs. She's like, "You want to pick the right one?" And then someone grabs the balloon, and then they float up into the sky.
And then they die.
All the characters do this except Colin Firth. He walks into the park, not in jail, not punished in any way. All he does is grab a balloon, which is promptly weighted down to the ground, and he looks longingly up at the sky while everyone else floats around and sings a song. That's his punishment in this Disney movie. He doesn't get to float on a balloon like everybody else.
This balloon is a metaphor for my penis.
Right. I've not gotten it up. Angela, come with me.
The only way I can get it up is if I'm ordering someone.
Right. Give me your house.
There we are. That's the reason why I wanted that house.
Indeed.
I haven't had an erection in 5 years.
And now I shan't. But yeah, that's my thing of Mary Poppins. That's the whole. I spent a little more time on it than I wanted to, I think, but just that's kind of the whole movie in a nutshell. Your kids will like it. Your kids will like it if you have them, or if you're going to see it with a kid, they'll enjoy it. But as an adult, it's a musical. The plot's very shallow. Emily Blunt does fine. But the real reward, if you saw the old movie with Julie Andrews, the real reward of this movie is Dick Van Dyke and Angela Lansbury at the very end, just their cameos.
Just making out.
Right.
How old did you say you were?
98. But I'm still kicking.
Prove it.
Let me show you my bed knobs and broomsticks.
Get off my broomstick. Yeah, but that's Mary Poppins.
Jeez, the bristle on your broomstick is outrageous. Oh, goodness.
Mine's stuck.
It's like going through a haystack, but that hay is thick as steel wool.
I think my broomstick's stuck between your bed knobs.
Wow, what a fascinating children's movie,
I'm done.
Don.
I'm done now.
Wow.
I'm done talking about Mary Poppins.
I feel so much better knowing the entire plot of Mary Poppins
There you
Goes
go.
to Mars.
Now it's now you know Mary Poppins Goes to Mars, and then at the tail end of it, it meshes with A Quiet Place and Mary Poppins Can't Speak, and
it's part of the Glass trilogy.
Yeah, exactly. You just see Bruce Willis's head pick up from a dirty puddle, and he looks to the sky because he knows he's been called.
They're like, they call her Mary Poppins. Yeah, they sure do.
Right.
And then he puts down the newspaper and looks up in the sky. She sure does.
Right, and you see all the balloon people in the background floating over the park, and you know it's the same world.
I have to stop them.
Right.
As long as it isn't on a rainy day.
Yeah. And then you got James McAvoy just running nude through the street.
He's just running on all fours, barking.
He's streaking. He's a madman just running through a college campus nude. That's James McAvoy's villain character for Glass, I'm sure. But yeah, that was my thoughts of Mary Poppins. Greg, what did you get into last week?
Well, I made a trip to our local library. Saw our favorite librarian.
Martha. How is she?
She doesn't like that I'm reading comic books.
Oh.
She's still very much like,
Why don't you read a real book, fat ass?
She's so ruthless. She does not think comic books are real.
no, she, I came in because I was like, I'm in the mood for more comic books. And she's like,
If you read any more Japanese shit, I'm gonna make sure that you're no longer in this world.
She is very serious about that.
yeah, she pulled out one of her 6 shooters, she spun it around, threw it up in the air, reloaded it.
Very Bugs Bunny when she does that.
Yeah. But I was like, you know what, Martha, it's fine. You don't need to keep leaving, Great Expectations on the table every time I'm there.
Stop hinting at
I'm
me.
not going to read Great Expectations. Right. Charles Dickinson is a hack.
Right, and I told you before, I'm never making it through a Tolstoy book. I just don't care.
You're not
Get him away
making
from
it
me.
through a Toy Story, ever. Ever.
I don't need to cry,
I'm not going to eat Toll House cookie dough. Stop it! But no, she went off and fucked around. Like, a bunch of people were trying to stay at the library to stay warm.
Sure.
I mean, that's the main reason I was there, but I figured I might as well read a book.
Good thinking.
Might as well check in on her, do like a, employee-employer kind of relationship between each other. But
sure,
she does not like me like she likes you.
Well, like I said, I maintain an active library membership. I do return my books. I make the effort to.
I return my books!
Not in the same quality or condition that
They're
you took
back!
them out.
That's all that matters.
And
a dinosaur story.
And that is why she doesn't like you very much. The bent spines and the torn corners.
How else am I supposed to read it? Like, if I'm doing something with two hands, and plus I have this new hand,
I know.
so it's a little strong.
It's the attachments. I've told her about that. She just doesn't. She doesn't care. Books are her life. What do you want?
It's like, if you snap another book spine, I'm gonna snap your spine there, Sonny.
I know. She is
I'm gonna
also
pistol whip
violent.
you to death.
I feel you could tell that she's read
My
a lot of
husband
stuff.
was still alive, I would drown you in this homemade sarsaparilla.
She's so colorful with like references like that. She thinks of
She
such...
has so many different phrases and things she says. Catchphrases, almost.
Yeah.
You could put them on a t-shirt.
Absolutely. It's from a lifetime of reading. She lives in the library. She's absorbed so much content.
Art thou reading a book there yet, fat ass?
She says that one to me a lot.
She does like the Bible.
She really does like the Bible, but I didn't read a Bible.
What'd you read?
Instead, I've been reading a new comic series out right now. New, by a guy that I'm very much a fan of, by the name of Rob Guillory.
Gilroy.
The artist for a certain comic book series that I am a diehard fan of, Chew.
Oh, Chew, yes, of course.
So he has a new series that not only is he doing the art for, he's writing.
Ooh.
It's Rob Guillory's Farmhand.
Farmhand. I like it. Full-on Gilroy. Nobody else involved in this.
He has an inker and he has a colorist, but the writing and the artwork is all him.
What an interesting title, Inker.
Inker?
Yeah.
I mean, that's coloring.
Yeah, no. It's just
Colorist
funny.
sounds a little not great this day and age.
Sounds racy.
Yeah.
Sounds a little bit
So
like...
when you go, so inker, like I'm an inker. I
Right.
put ink onto paper.
Neither one sounds really good, to be honest with you.
Inker,
If
I
you were
think,
to-
sounds better.
Then colorist. It does. But either way, I think you could think if someone described their jobs that way, you might think they'd spent time in prison.
Yeah, so, anyway, Farmhand.
Mm-hmm.
So this series, there is only 6 issues out right now. They are, 5 issues out right now. The 6th issue is coming out pretty soon. They're like several months apart. But the story is about Zeke Jenkins, who is the son of Jedediah Jenkins.
Of course.
Who is in charge of basically this stem cell research farm.
Whoa.
So, one day, Jedediah had a vision, and he was able to grow limbs,
Ooh.
hair,
No way.
eyeballs.
Like out of the ground?
out of the ground
Sick.
on trees.
Cool.
So he had this magic vision. We don't know what it is yet because
Right.
it's still very early into the series.
Jedediah came down from the mountain.
But Jedediah had that image. Like the very first few pages is like giving like background about Zeke's father, just how he made this farm. But Zeke's been away for a while now. Zeke is pretty much like an insert for Rob.
Okay.
Because like they look almost exactly the same. If you see pictures of Zeke and you see a picture of Rob in real life, you're like, yep,
Right.
I see that.
Full-on translation of him.
Yeah, but Zeke's got a family. He's got a wife. He's got 2 kids. And his father invited him to come back into town and be a part of his life again because he's a cartoonist, and being a cartoonist hasn't exactly been super for him.
And Jedediah is growing his limbs on a farm, and
Yes.
he invites Zeke to come back
He
into that
invites
fold.
Zeke to return to his life to rejoin the family and work on the farm alongside his sister.
Those cartoons are never going to work out for you, son. Come grow some legs with
Listen
me.
here, son. We gotta make sure that those peepees are regrown. There are some great jokes in this. One of my favorite things was a woman came in and she had breast cancer, so she was like, I need new breasts, and Jenkins is like, all right, we're gonna send you to the melon patch, and it cuts to a panel of just these horny, weird fucking weirdos outside a door that says like sexual reproduction, like free implant room. And then there's a sign on it that just says melon patch.
Right, of course. Send you to the melon patch.
One thing I've always loved about Rob's art style, especially from Chew, is that it can be really wacky and cartoony, but it can be so grandiose and gross at the same time.
Right. Like a Ren and Stimpy visual kind of stuff like that.
The way he draws violence is it has impact to it, because the rest of his art style is so, I wouldn't say off-putting, but it's kind of ugly. Like, not like, ugh, I'm disgusted reading this. It's like every character looks imperfect, and that's something I've always appreciated about his style.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like one cute character. He doesn't have a hot character.
Interesting.
Everyone is just pretty yuck.
Yeah, but unique in their grossness. Like
everyone is very unique. You can definitely differentiate characters from each other, and that is still very present in Farmhand. The cast is very small this time around. There is Jedediah and his sister, and then he has Zeke's whole family, and then there's like a couple smaller characters on the side, and then the mayor, the new mayor of the city, who turns out to be an ex-partner with Jedediah.
Oh, a spurned ex-partner?
Yes, who worked with him on the STEM research, and she kind of knows her way around plants.
Oh boy.
So the whole series is about what is going on, finding out about the family history between Zeke and his dad, because there seems to be very obviously like a, what did you fucking do? And it makes me think, like, the way it's written, I'm like, they tried to regrow his mom through stem cells. That's what I'm guessing is,
you think
is what happened.
Their breaking point was?
Yes. That's what I think was happening. Like, his mother died, so he was using body parts that he grew to regrow a new wife.
Oh boy.
That's what I'm thinking is what happened.
Dad, come out of the melon patch, Jesus.
I can't help it, son. Gotta make sure that these melons are nice and ripe. I miss your mother.
That's disgusting.
Fucked up, yes. Well, his premise is dark.
I absolutely love the premise of, like, going through the farm and seeing a tree, but instead of branches, it has legs and arms.
Right.
And watching them cut them off and then seeing blood just, like, spew out.
Boy. Oh, there's blood on the trees, too? Like, oh, my God.
A woman came in and she didn't have a nose, so, like, Jedediah grabs a flower. It's got thorns all over the petals, but then there's this bright green nose.
Oh my gosh.
And the flower just immediately, like, jumps out of his hand, latches to her face, and then just knows.
Oh, wow.
It's cool, too, because the way that they described how the body parts reattach themselves to humans, you don't need to do any kind of stitching. It just automatically does it. There's like a Russian spy kid that, like, tried to break in and steal information, but he's an amputee, so he had like a robot arm.
Not an efficient guy to send in on your mission.
He ripped off his robot arm and put on the plant arm. And when like the end of the plant that was cut off the tree is shown, it's like a Venus flytrap. It's got like all these teeth and shit. It just bites down on his arm. You see, like, green veins going all the way up, like, the side of his body. And then just all of a sudden, it's just like,
yeah, right,
it's
right.
moving.
The nerves are fused.
And he's like, the green pigmentation goes away after a couple days.
Interesting. So they eliminated the surgical or medical element of this. This farm grows everything you need for if you're missing a limb or any body part. Like, it just grows all of that, and it's self-contained, so if you just pop it wherever you need it, it'll attach itself.
But at the same time, the plants can't grow anything for animals.
Oh.
So if animals get into the patch, things get fucked.
Does the human limb still attach to an
So
animal?
they had a chihuahua go into one of the patches and accidentally eat like a couple like finger plants or whatever,
man.
and it turns into a mutant dog.
Oh,
like
man.
an enormous plant mutant dog. And he's like, the mutagens of the limbs don't work on animals, and it causes them to get all fucked.
Yeah.
And it's awesome too because they show like there's like bulldog caterpillars that have been showing up.
Wow.
Just to show how the physiology of these stem cells have been fucking around with nature.
Yeah.
It's a very, very, very detailed world, and there's only 5 issues out right now.
Cool.
I cannot wait for more of this. I am so deep into Farmhand now. I've reread it. Like there's a collection now with the first 5 issues on it. I think I read that maybe 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
Back to front because I was just so
It's
interested in how this world is set up.
It sounds very cool. You just your description of it to me prompts thoughts of like Edward Scissorhands or like Tim Burton's Worlds. Like it seems that kind of haunting and fucked up, and also so intriguing with its specific oddity of, you know, naturally growing stem, or, you know, human affected but growing of stem cells like limbs and body parts. It's really, really interesting, and I love the notion of what it does to the natural world around it too. That's intriguing. Sounds very cool.
I am so down to see where the rest of this goes. Again, if you ever read Chew and you love Chew, you will love this because it's got that same style of humor to it. But I think the writing is actually very strong for only the first 5 issues of this story compared to Chew, because Chew was written by a completely different person. So I highly encourage Farmhand. Just seeing like the plant monsters and how Rob like plays around with his panels, how he uses color to make these plants look even more diabolical, I could say, like monstrous. It like otherworldly is another way I would describe these plants. It's like very alien.
Which is great. I mean, that's, you know, what you want, I think, a lot of the time with comic books, especially, or anything animated. You want it to be other than what we're used to, you know?
I like that it doesn't look hyper realistic.
Yeah.
That's something I've always loved about his art.
Cool.
It's great. I love it. So highly encourage it. Farmhand for anyone out there who is hungry for some comic book action.
Rob Guillory? Is that the
Rob
guy?
Guillory's Farmhand.
There you go. Enjoy yourself some of that. So yeah, Rob Guillory's Farmhand, and you know, Mary Poppins Returns is what I talked about there too. But that brings us to the point where we're going to reach into the. That's right, Greg's.
I don't think I'm
list.
going to use that as a
little lead in to the segment. You don't
Yeah,
think
I
so?
just wanted to try something new, but that
it sounded
didn't seem
okay.
to work.
It sounded okay.
Like
You can. It's just like it's underwater. It sounds like it's underwater, and it's hard to. It's hard to the enunciation of the G's. It just sounds like Freak going through a wind tunnel.
Stop the fans! I don't let Greg play my Switch anymore.
Yeah, it's how he relaxes, though. He likes that wind tunnel. But anyway, what Greg and I like to do if we can is we reach into the Greg's List at gmail.com inbox, where you can send us anything, questions, ideas,
Concerns,
remarks, feedback,
recipes,
anything at all.
a good kiss.
Bits of written information that we can process in our brains. And this one, this week, comes from Cedric. Or Cedric, I suppose, possibly. I'll go with Cedric for this guy. It feels like it.
All right.
Sup, fellas?
Sup?
Question mark, exclamation point. So inquisitive and also enthusiastic. Good beginning there, Cedric. Nice. Sup, fellas? What is some music you like to put on in the background when you're doing stuff like cleaning or the dishes?
Huh.
Good question, Cedric. Greg and I don't typically clean or do dishes, but your point
Well, we
is
do.
well
We
taken.
do things.
We do things.
So
In the background
having
of which,
music.
is nice. It always makes it a little bit better or easier. He says, "I like Fatboy Slim. Keep up the good work!" Exclamation point. Cedric from Bourbonnais. Cedric,
Thanks,
you.
Cedric. You
One of-
know, actually, Fatboy Slim is
It's a good
pretty
one.
Good.
I love me
good.
some Fatboy Slim. I praise you. I still enjoy that song to death. It still makes me feel something like the first time I listened to it back in the 90s. You know, like that was... It's good. I like that song.
Let's see. I really like listening to Aesop Rock when I'm doing stuff. Like I'm working on my arm or whatever. Mm-hmm. Because like his beat, he never goes like he's a silly rapper and he's wordy. But he always keeps his stuff like pretty chill level.
That's nice.
I can't think of a whole lot of albums where he's got like super high energy. Maybe Mystery Fish or not Mystery Fish, The Impossible Kid. That's the first track off that album. But I really like listening to like None Shall Pass to help me like ease into things. I'm listening to that new album he did called Malibu Ken,
Nice.
and that's not as chill.
Little
There
higher
are some chill tracks, but for the most part, it's pretty like it's got energy to it because of Tobacco, the producer that's a part of it. Who else? I like to listen to the Gorillaz when I like do work.
Sure. That's nice energy.
Or
Background
I'll
stuff.
do like a Spotify like
Love
chill.
Spotify's browsing for genres. They just do a nice little smattering of different random stuff if you check their playlists. I also like their the algorithm which chooses new music for you. If you're a Spotify user, their release radar, it exposes you to new music, and that's typically what I like to listen to. It comes out on Fridays, I think, where they put together this playlist based off your past clicks, how long you listen to songs, how many times you listen to them, what artists you like, and all that. So Spotify's algorithm is great, especially if you're looking for new music. But specific artists that I like in the background, Grammatic. I've liked Grammatic for many years. It's most of his stuff is instrumental. He does pair with people sometimes who will rap on his stuff, but for the most part, it's non-verbal. So I enjoy instrumental beats and Grammatic style.
Lo-fi hip-hop anime themes.
Kind of. I mean, yeah.
Like that YouTube channel or whatever it is. Like it's like a 3-hour-long like lo-fi hip-hop.
That's not bad. I like older, but RJD2 is a classic for me. It's still kind of just the way that he takes sound bites and sort of seemingly organically forms beats around them is really, I find that fascinating for sure. The Ambassadors or the X's as well, like those are ones that come up a lot. I've really enjoyed Goldfish as well, and Me and My Toothbrush is another group that I have been really vibing on recently. That group does use lyrics, but I just, the beats that they do, they are higher energy, so it's good for like, if you're running around or just going for a walk, or if you are doing a workout or something. Me and My Toothbrush is pretty good for that. Goldfish can be anything from a workout to a chore to driving late at night, like on a road or something, cruising. They're good for that as well. So yeah, those are some background guys that I like to have.
Wow.
So yeah, that's something to do. Thank you for the submission, Cedric. We appreciate it.
Wow.
So yeah, that's going to do it for Greg and I this week. I smell some hot dogs, I think, coming out of that convenience store behind us, and I want to get to them before Cheryl sort of works himself out of that funk that he's in right now.
Can you guys get me one?
I don't know, Cheryl. I don't think so.
No.
It doesn't. We don't know how many there are.
No.
And we're both pretty hungry.
Just straight up, no.
We just finished a podcast, man. You watched us record this entire thing. You know how hungry we both are after we record.
I just wanted something nice. You guys have been like threatening me.
Nobody, just stop crying. We only threaten you because we want you to not be crying around the microphones. You're ruining the whole vibe of our podcast. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, yes, Cheryl, I'll get you a fucking hot dog. Just stop. Yes, just stop crying.
Don't get him a fucking hot dog.
I can't listen to this. This is horrible. Greg, all right, now what? The painkillers have worn off. Now you want to be an asshole, Greg? This is over now, and we can't get past this. All right, this is getting out of control. Hey, really sorry about the way this ended, but thank you for listening. We always appreciate it.
Hey there, guy.
Greg, that's brutal. Just stuffing your new arm into his face like that. That is, but it does sound better. It's nice to not have to listen to. I know. Okay, well, just back him away. Craig, back him away. Back him away from the microphones. There you go. Oh my God! Cheryl just bursted at the head! Bursted apart! Greg, what happened?
Oh, I just, I think I accidentally hit the inflate finger button, because, like...
Oh, there's compressed air coming out of that. Holy shit. That is... dude, you just, like... You No Country for Old Men to that guy. That was, like, the compressed air right in his mouth. That's crazy.
He's not crying anymore.
No, and we should probably leave. There's brains all over this alleyway now, and I've kind of lost my appetite, actually.
No, I'm still hungry.
You're still
Let's
hungry?
go.
All right,
Let's go.
okay, well, we'll stop there. All right, thank you so much. We got to go, but we'll talk next week. Thank you always, and see ya.
See you later, handsomes and sexies and either whatever you want to be called.
Yeah, all right.
The new hotness.
Let's clean this up. Watch out for the brain. Watch out
I
for
just
that.
walk over it. It's fine. No one's gonna notice.
Slip. Jesus, it's slippery now.
Way to go, dum-dum. Now your face is covered in brain.
Ugh. All right, let's get a hot dog.
What you just heard was a fantasy, a fiction, cooked up for your amusement and the catharsis of the hosts. Please, have mercy on them.